Well, welcome back to ESPN's Wide World of Sports. I'm Kevin McAlpin from 680 The Fan and the Braves Radio Network. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. It is February the 14th, which means we are now just one day, 24 hours from officially seeing Braves pitchers and catchers report here to the complex in Lake Buena Vista. But as Ben and I told you yesterday, a number of guys here early already. I walked through the backfields here on my way in this morning and counted more than 20 different Braves players, pitchers and catchers reported here early, throwing some on the side, getting some early work, throwing some bullpen sessions as well. So something Walt Weiss told us, if you tuned into the Braves Clubhouse report yesterday, we had our very first edition right here from the complex in Orlando, and Walt Weiss said he's been here a few days, but he already senses a different feel to Braves camp and, guys eager to get things going. And I think part of that is, in fact, to the way that things ended last season. The Braves were disappointed by the way things ended down the stretch, not only from an offensive standpoint, late August through September and into the postseason, but a number of guys getting their feet wet. And I think that's really motivated guys in their off-season workouts, wanting to get here to the complex early. I know a lot of guys worked here all off-season, so guys are chomping at the bit to get things going. So this will not be a camp where we're sitting checking names off the list. A lot of guys here already, and we've seen some position guys as well. I expect that to continue into this weekend and early next week as full squad reports later next week. And they'll only have one day of full squad workouts before games start. Games start a week from this Saturday, and that'll be at Port St. Lucie against the New York Mets, and then Sunday against the Houston Astros in West Palm Beach. Ben Ingram and myself will have the call of both of those games on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network. So looking forward to bringing you baseball, live baseball, and that starts next week on Saturday against the New York Mets in Port St. Lucie. But first things first, Braves pitchers and catchers reporting here tomorrow. They'll work out for the first official time on Saturday. And one thing I'm really looking forward to, we talked about it yesterday, some of the battles that are going to take place, maybe one or possibly two spots in that rotation. But the bullpen is the area that I'm really excited to see how things play themselves out, as well as a new pitching coach. Of course, the majority of the Braves staff back intact from a year ago. One change, though, Chuck Hernandez replaced by Rick Kranitz as the new pitching coach of the Braves. And something I talked to some folks who cover the Phillies with is that there were a lot of guys in that Phillies clubhouse that were not happy to hear that the Philadelphia Phillies were not retaining Rick Kranitz as their pitching coach. I think you look back to last season, Aaron Nola is the guy that jumps off the page, took significant strides forward a year ago. Kranitz certainly a track record of working with young arms, developing them, finding ways for them to take the next step. And again, Nola played himself right into Cy Young consideration. So I'm excited to see how Kranitz works with not only guys like Mike Fultonevich and Sean Newcomb, who we've seen the last couple years, but guys like Touki Toussaint, Kyle Wright, Bryce Wilson, Mike Soroka, Max Fried, Luis Gohara, and then the next wave of guys who we do see here in big league camp, and that's Ian Anderson, Joey Wentz, Kyle Muller, a couple of the younger arms that are getting a chance to get their feet wet here in big league spring training. So I know Rick Kranitz will certainly be looking forward to getting his hands on some of those guys. Todd Zalecki, who covers the Phillies for MLB.com up in Philadelphia, told me that Pat Neshek told him Rick Kranitz is the best pitching coach he has ever had. Big on relationships, developing relationships with guys, and I think that really starts right here tomorrow when everybody officially reports and gets a chance to start working with Rick Kranitz. So again, new pitching coach, new philosophy, new mindset, new voice. Really excited to see who takes leaps forward as far as going into 2019 is concerned. So that's what's going on here so far. Again, it might look quiet behind me right now, but believe me, that will all change over the next couple of days. And again, the Braves, I've seen a number of coaches here already. Saw Brian Snitker, he is here. Sal Fasano, Walt Weiss, Kevin Seitzer, even Ron Washington walking across the field here behind me. So the coaches are ready. The players are ready. I know the Braves fans are excited to see what happens. And, the question we get the most is, what should we expect from the Braves as far as wins go? What should we expect as far as moves that may come here throughout the course of spring training? I will just tell you this much. It is February the 14th. We have 6 weeks until the Braves will break camp and head north and get ready for opening day. I do not think this roster is complete by any means. I think Alex Anthopoulos will continue to find ways to make this team better, and that could stretch into March. Think back to last season. We saw Anibal Sanchez basically fall in the Braves' lap right there towards the end of camp. I'm not saying they're going to have another diamond in the rough like Anibal Sanchez, but trying to find one more veteran they can add, whether it's in the bullpen, whether it's in the starting rotation. I think that's an area they will look to try to improve upon, and then maybe some more depth on the bench. But remember, you have versatility. You have guys like Johan Camargo and Charlie Culberson there. Versatility is so important, as Walt Weiss told us yesterday on the Braves Clubhouse Report. When you're trying to find ways to construct a roster with 8 guys in the pen, you go one shorter on your bench. So versatility certainly key. I think the Braves will look for one more option there as well. But again, stay with us here on 680thefan.com, 680 The Fan on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you're following us. We will have exclusive sit-downs with all your favorite coaches, players, executives. We got you covered start to finish right here on Braves Spring Training 2019. Again, on 680 The Fan, at 680 The Fan on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you give us a follow and stay connected for you. It's connected to you, rather, here from Braves Spring Training in Lake Buena Vista, Florida.